What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the greatest gaming podcast on the internet, the One Up Gamescast. I'm one of your hosts, Casting, joined as always by my brother from another mother, the man with the plan, Master Cheeks in the sheets, Master Chief in the streets, Jack Gibb. How you doing, buddy?
It's alright, mate. A bit tired. The old 1 a.m. Nintendo Direct will get you.
Mate, it will get you. It will get you right. Man. What was crazy was my dumbass confused the times with next week. So I was like, it's at midnight. It'll be cool.
Oh, so next week's is midnight.
Next week's is midnight. And then, yeah, so that'll be a lot easier for us, I feel. And I think everyone will. I just know the difference, like, between midnight and 1 a.m., is an hour. But I like just hearing, like, midnight compared to a.m. Do you know what I mean? Like 1 a.m. Like, I don't know. It just feels like it's a bit earlier. So I feel like everyone will be a lot more like, yeah, let's watch this thing. Plus, it's a Switch 2, and everyone's so hyped for it. Like, I regardless of what time it was on, I was going to be awake for it. You know what I mean? If it's during work hours, oh, my knee, oh, my leg, oh, my butt, oh, no, guys. Oh, God.
I'm keen for next week's. I wasn't going to watch last night's, but I just happened to be awake anyway, so I thought, well, may as well,
Mate. Well,
may as well watch. And, oh, what a show.
I was going to say, that's what we're going to be talking about. So before we get into it, so this week we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Direct that happened yesterday, that came out of nowhere, that I'm surprised even happened. And then we're going to be talking a couple of predictions for the Nintendo Switch 2 event that is happening next week. There might be another video going up on the channel, like a full-on predictions video. I don't know. It's just like I've got a lot going on right now in terms of like channel and website and stuff. I'm trying to keep on top of it all. So if that video happens, great. If not, sorry. So just before we get started, we'll go through every announcement, we'll break it down, we'll give our thoughts at the end. I just want, before we get in, what are your overall thoughts? Like, how did you feel about it? Did you enjoy it? I'm sure we'll get more out of you before the end, but yeah, what did you think?
Like, what a privilege for Nintendo to be able to have a console out fucking 7 or 8 years, whatever it is, and still have a show that, like, games are still getting released that strongly on the platform. That's a successor has already been announced.
Yeah.
Is backwards compatible, to be fair. But, like, there's some games in here that, like, in my mind, could have waited a few months until the Switch 2's out.
Yep.
You know, like, there's some games in here.
Oh, I can think of one.
Yeah, there's definitely one. I would argue 2 or 3. But, you know, what a privilege that they got a console that's that successful. There's still, if I can spoil something for later in the show, High on Life being ported to it. You know, like that, like this console's on the way out. You know, I mean, it'll still be popular for years. Don't get me wrong, but you know, props to them for having a show that could be so full of things like that right at the fucking end, a week before the fucking doors get blown off the hinge. But yeah, it's a bit of a rough show though. Like in the same breath, like I'm sort of in two minds where I'm like, I wish they waited because the show was shit. But at the same time, like, there's a lot of games that are coming out this year that aren't Switch 2 games, and what do you do with them all? And to Nintendo's credit, they put together a show, and you know, there was Pokemon, there was some other things. Like, it wasn't fucking empty, but it just, I don't know, it just felt. I think we're just too excited for the Switch 2. I think if the Switch 2 wasn't announced yet and this show came out, we'd probably still be saying, gee, you know, not the best Nintendo Direct, but like, I don't think we'd be as so dismissive of the show.
Yes.
But that's my opinion. How do you feel overall?
Well, my thought after watching it, you guys will see in the reacts, was I was very much of the mind of like, what the hell even was this? I'm so confused. But now, having had quite a bit of time to sit and think about it, this was the smartest thing Nintendo could have done. Because this gives me the feeling that I've been getting from a lot of state of plays where it's like, oh, we got some contractual obligations here. You know what I mean? We got some trailers that they had to show. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of this felt like. But also in the back of my mind, and echoing what you just said, there's a lot of games coming out this year for this console as well. But how smart of them to be like, we've got to show this stuff off. Let's not show it off a month before the Switch 2. Let's not show it off after the Switch 2. Let's show it a week before, because we know it's going to disappoint some people. We know it's going to fall on its
but
face.
now everyone's thinking about Nintendo again. Like,
exactly. A week before their biggest show of the year, in my opinion.
Like a game like Rhythm Haven Groove. Right? Looks alright. Yeah, it looks alright. But not a Switch 2 game. You know, like, it's not going to take advantage of the Switch 2.
No.
And if it does, it'll run just fine on the Switch 1. So why not give it a crack before the Switch 2 is announced? Because those sorts of games that aren't going to take advantage of the Switch 2 are not really going to have a place in the news next week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just get them all out of the way. Get the stuff that they clearly need to talk about out of the way. And getting it done the week before, real smart. You know what I mean? I think that was the smartest thing they could have done.
I don't think I felt that way last night.
I didn't.
When I had my eyes hanging out of my head. But, and again, I wasn't up for the Nintendo Direct, but having thought about it a bit more, I'm like, yeah, that was good. That was good. And it gives us a clean slate. And there's a couple of things in this show, like the virtual card stuff, which we'll get into, that I think would have been just a real slow piece of next week's show.
Oh, it would have dragged, yeah.
Like good news story, obviously, but just slow and boring. And it had to be because it's a little bit complicated.
Yep.
You do not want people getting the wrong idea of how that thing works.
Yeah.
You want people to understand that. So I think they nailed it in that respect. I think planning wise, I think they've done really well. But it was a long show.
It was.
So
We're gonna break it down and try and get it done even faster. So we're just gonna go through the announcements. If there's anything you want to talk about or anything that jumps out at you, feel free to say. But yeah. All right. So show starts with Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake. It's a modern reimagining of the classic RPGs. It's coming out this year. It brings Dragon Quest 1 and Dragon Quest 2 with enhanced visuals, but while preserving the original's charm. This completes the Erdrick's trilogy, which, third one's already out, and the reason the third one came out is because the third one is set timeline-wise before 1 and 2. So the trilogy is now complete of the HD 2D remakes for Dragon Quest. Who knows what remakes for Dragon Quest we'll get next, but we got another trailer for that. Looked good.
Not a bad opener, I thought.
Not a bad one. Then we got a trailer for the Sonium Files, like a spin-off game called No Sleep for Kaname Date. Interesting. It's one of those games where it's like it's appealing to a very specific audience. They know who their audience are. I'm one of those people. Just seeing any sort of anime game gets me hyped to jump in and give it a go. This one's coming out in July. That was another thing about this direct. Lots of June, July dates. And available after the show. Like, very much trying to get stuff out of the way early, it feels. Then we got a look at Raidu Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army. This is an Atlas game from the Persona guys. This is a remaster of the 2006 action role-playing game Devil Summoner, Raidu Kuzenhana versus the Soulless Army. When this trailer started, I was like, Persona? And then it was like, and then I seen the devil thing coming up. I'm like, oh, it's Devil Summoner. And then it got to the end and it was like Raidu Remastered, and I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure it's called Devil Summoner. I don't know what this is. I was so certain. And then yes, it is Devil Summoner, guys. This is also dropping very soon. This is dropping on June 19, but it's also dropping for PS5, PS4, Series X and X, Xbox One, and the Switch, and PC via Steam. So get hyped. Then we got another look at Shadow Labyrinth, which is that Pac-Man game that is basically based on the secret level episode, the Amazon Prime anthology show.
Oh, righto.
Yes, dude. It's finally been confirmed that that's what it's sort of based off. Because I remember when this was announced, I was kind of like, this feels like it's based off that episode. And Jake was like, it kind of does. And then, watching this trailer and then reading everything that's come out after it, yes, this is based off the secret level episode, which is so cool. Like, that's such a sick thing for Bandai to do. Yeah, it's so good. And that's coming out July 18. We then got a trailer for Patapon 1 and 2 Replay. It is an upcoming remaster bundle that brings together the first two entries of the rhythm-based action adventure series. It's got Patapon 1 and 2, of course. They originally came out on the PSP back in 2007 and 8. People really love Patapon. I enjoy it.
The announcer, like, explaining how the rhythm works.
Yeah.
Things you can do. Fuck, it was funny. It was so
It's
good.
too good. It's too funny. It's coming out July 11th. So that's pretty close. Then we got Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar. Yeah, go on.
Just hold up for a moment.
Yeah.
We need more re-releases from the PSP days, don't we?
Honestly, we do, yeah. I feel
banger games locked on that console.
I thought that like not going off on a tangent, but like PlayStation Plus, whatever, Deluxe or whatever they call it, that's their opportunity to do that sort of stuff. Bring it forward. There's a few PSP games on there, like granted, but like nothing that's sort of like when you think of PSP, that's what you think of.
This is probably a good conversation for a whole fucking show, but like Sony needs some quick wins, some quick games, right?
Yeah.
You know what? You know that rumored studio that's rumored to be making an Uncharted game for the last 17 years?
Yeah.
What if they just quickly whipped out like a PS4 level, maybe a bit of PS5 level, Golden Abyss?
I'd play that.
Like, that's a quick, like you can, reuse a lot of shit. Not
You
graphics
could.
necessarily, but you can reuse a lot of that game. Just got to update the boss fights a little bit, and bloody, there's a $50 game. I'd buy it.
Take out the touchscreen mechanics.
I still haven't finished the game, mate. I can't get past the last boss. I gave up. Touchscreen controls just
The worst. The worst. The worst.
Back to the direct.
Story of Seasons, Grand Bazaar. It's an upcoming life simulation game developed by Marvelous Inc. It is a remake of the 2010 Nintendo DS title, Harvest Moon Grand Bazaar. This version introduces enhanced graphics, expanded storylines, and full character voice acting during the story events, which is really, really good. Then, mate, we got a trailer for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, and let me tell you, man, I was not ready for that to be at this show. I was so thrown.
It's coming out on Switch One. Is that?
Well, I mean, it's like
this?
This has been in development since like 2017, so it's like
definitely on the Switch One.
Hell no, yeah, like this thing was like in development for the Switch One. In 2017, I'm pretty sure it was announced. We didn't hear anything about it for like 3-4 years. Then they came out and they were like, well, the studio that was working on it, we didn't like the direction they took it. We've gotten rid of it. Retro's working on it again. We've brought back the original game director. And we're literally starting from scratch. We're just going to reuse a couple of assets. And now we're here. We're at a point where this thing is coming really, really soon. But like, yeah, it has been primarily developed for the Nintendo Switch 1. But I just feel like the Switch 2 is going to make this baby sing. I'm so excited for this game, man. And we got to look at the new suit. Hey?
Like Breath of the Wild, like the cross-gen.
Yeah.
Cross-gen game.
Honestly, this will be the one. Yeah, like, so good. No date for it. But I'm like, come on, guys. Like, I said to Jake during the reacts, I'm like, if this has a date at the end, if we see a date, that is the launch date for the Switch 2.
Yeah.
And
next week it gets revealed.
Yeah, and no date. And I'm like, oh, those crafty buggers. But yeah, honestly, it's so cool. Got to look at some combat. Got to more look at the story, the environments, some of the mechanics, some of the new abilities that Samus will be able to use. Jake made a great point. He's like, I feel like we've only seen the first 20 minutes of this game. And I'm like, I totally agree. Like, they are keeping it so close to the chest. I think this game is going to bang. I love the look of the new suit. I cannot wait. I'm very, very excited. And people can't tell, I love Metroid, so I'm pretty excited for this one. Then, surprisingly, Disney Villains Curse Cafe got an announcement. It's a visual novel game that immerses players in a world where they craft magical potions for iconic Disney villains, each reimagined with a modern twist. You assume the role of the Potionista, managing a cafe frequented by characters like Cruella de Vil, the Evil Queen, Gaston, Captain Hook, Jafar, Maleficent, and Ursula. The potions brewed not only influence the villains' narratives, but also lead to multiple game endings, offering a rich and engaging experience. Do you know what this is?
Not really.
They have made a Disney version of one of my favorite indie games, Coffee Talk.
Oh, I thought it was an expansion to that at one point.
Yeah, that's the vibes it gives, right? Like, yeah, but this is
Yeah,
effectively Coffee
totally.
Talk, but like with Disney in the title. And I'm down for that. But
Nothing won't ruin, mate.
that's what I'm saying though. But like, I hope, here's my plea, right? All you Disney fans out there that are definitely going to play this. If you play this, because I'm pretty sure it's available right now. It was a game that was available after the show. If you play it and you like it, go play Coffee Talk. It's on Plus. I think it's on Game Pass. Go try it. It's so good. Because that's effectively what it is. You make coffee and it's Coffee Talk is about like going to be totally different from this because this just feels like a way to immerse yourself in like the Disney zeitgeist. But Coffee Talk is like about a conversation between you and somebody else, which can lead to like different stories, different people getting involved. It's just a wonderful sort of like simulation of what life is like, right? And depending on how good you make the coffee, or if you make the coffee the right way, you put their favorite flavoring, they'll open up to you more and more, and then you get like more of an look into their life. And I love Coffee Talk. It's so good. One's great. Two's amazing. I'm really excited for the Japanese one. That's I think's coming out this year. I think that one's going to be a banger. So if you like Villain's Curse Cafe, I haven't played Villain's Curse Cafe yet. I should play it and make sure it's exactly like Coffee Talk before I'm like, go play Coffee Talk. But this was an opportunity for me to be like, guys, Coffee Talk's good. Go play it. Sorry, everyone. But yeah, cool game. We got Witchbrook. That's an upcoming life simulator and social RPG. It was it's set in the enhancing seaside city of Mooseport or Mooseport. The game invites players to enroll in a magical college where you can explore the campus, interact with diverse characters, and uncover hidden secrets. There was a line during this trailer that made me want to play this. It was, hey, do this, do that, get a job so you can pay for tuition. Like, it's basically you are a student at Hogwarts, but it's not a free ride. You've got to go out there, you've got to get a job, you've got to interact with people. You know, if you want to learn all this magic, you've got to pay for it. Like, you've got to pay tuition. I'm like, can I play this game without getting a job? Will I get kicked out of the school? That's all I want to know. I want to try to see if I can like bluff my way through a full education without paying a dime.
Gee, the way we're heading, like, next there'll be a free version of Sea of Thieves where you got to work the bar for 10 hours.
Oh, dude, that would actually be pretty baller, you know. Oh, that'd be great. Then we got a new trailer for The Eternal Life of Goldman. This is a game that I've been sort of keeping my eye on. I keep seeing it a lot, especially like every time I go to the EB Games website and I go to the pre-order page. This is always there. It's an upcoming side-scrolling platformer set to launch the end of this year. It's coming to everything. The game offers a unique blend of exploration, combat, and storytelling. You play as an old man. And the thing that got me was there was a cane customization screen where you can imbue your walking cane with different powers and stuff to fight off enemies. So I'm like, I'm in. I'm nearly 30. I'm gonna need a cane soon. Let's go. Then we gotta look at I can see. Then we gotta look at Gradius Origins. So Gradius Origins is an upcoming collection of classic side-scrolling shoot 'em ups, shmups for the uninitiated. These were games developed by Konami. The compilation brings together several titles from Gradius and the Salamander series, but a little cherry on top is it also includes a brand new entry called Salamander 3. We're getting a third Salamander game, and it's going to be a part of this collection. Probably a smart idea. Probably the reason the collection exists is because if you drop Salamander 3 today without this collection, I doubt many people would touch it. So it's a great way to get it into people's hands. Rift of the Necrodancer. It is a rhythm game. We've got another one coming. It's a spin-off to Crypt of the Necrodancer, which I actually really enjoy. The game is coming very, very soon. It's coming March 27th to the Switch, but it is out right now for other platforms, but you will wait for the Switch because we said so. Right, now this one. Do you say Tamagotchi? Is that how you say it?
Oh.
Is that how you say it, Tamagotchi?
Tamagotchi. Yeah, I guess.
That is 100% how I've been saying it, right? So you can imagine mine and Jake's surprise when this guy at the direct said Tamagotchi. I'm like, what the fuck is a Tamagotchi? I've said Tamagotchi my whole life. And he's like, so have I. And I'm like, it must be, like, what's going on? Anyway, I'm going to say it the way I want to say it. So Tamagotchi is an upcoming shop simulator game. It's coming from Bandai. It's coming June 27th. And basically, it's jobs. You do a whole bunch of jobs in this town to make Tamagotchis like you. So that's good. Then we got to look another look.
I can't tell what this is. Like the amount of
so weird
simulation games here. Like, go get a fucking job. Like, you know.
How long before we just get we get the partner directs, you know, we get the Indie World directs. When do we get the simulator directs? When do we get the farming directs? You know what I mean? They announced so many of these games.
Like, I played a lot of them growing up, but it was more like the God mode simulations, like The Sims. Or, you know, like, it's just weird. Like, there's a lot of games where it's like, oh, you're just simulating working the burger station. There's like plenty of places to work the burger station in real life and get paid, you know. It's just interesting, like, phenomenon. Like, it's not really good or bad. It's just a commentary weird that exists. But like, I would have, even back in the mini clip days, you know, I've played plenty of games where you do all that sort of shit. You know, you could say that Overcooked fits into that category, but I feel like there's more to it. I don't know. I'm sure there's more to these games as well, to be fair. But I don't know. My brain's just a bit like, maybe it's just I'm getting older. Like, I work enough hours then to come here and work Tamagotchi Plaza.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, when I'm watching these things now, And if the first line is a brand new farming simulator, I don't want to work on a farm anymore. I'm done working on this freaking farm, man. I'm sick of being in the Stardew Valley. I don't want to be there anymore.
I've never tuned into a direct or a showcase and there's a game about writing SQL queries or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, there's nothing that's ever actually. It's always, jobs that I don't do. So I guess.
You know what? Next time there's going to be a direct coming up. It won't be the Switch 2 direct because they want to save this banger of a game. But it's probably going to be like Excel Simulator, an Excel Master 2025, and you're going to be like, I'm in. I'm going to be like, nah.
Practice when I get home. Yeah.
No, not this. Then we got another look at Pokemon Legends ZA, just going over some of the stuff we learned at the Pokemon Day, Pokemon Presents, basically going over the zones, the day-night cycle that they've just introduced, like Pokemon are more aggressive or there's stronger Pokemon at night. Yeah, looks great. Can't wait to see more. Definitely coming before the end of the year. I just wish they would give us a date. Then we got a look at Rhythm Heaven Groove. It's coming out next year. This was the first one that had a date that wasn't this year, and I was like, interesting. I feel like this could drop whenever.
So surprised. I don't know. It just seemed like the game was ready to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the reason I was like, why would you not drop this year, is because this series has been dormant since 2015. This is 10 years since the last one. Why would you not release something 10 years later? No. 11. 1-1. Better number. Okay.
It's not ready. It's not ready, right?
Yeah. All right, now we've got the weirdest announcement at the show. The Nintendo Switch Virtual Game Cards. So, Nintendo is introducing a new feature called Virtual Game Cards for the Nintendo Switch, enhancing the flexibility of digital game ownership. This system allows players to manage, share, and lend their digital games across multiple Switch consoles, closely mimicking the convenience of physical game cards. Thoughts?
It'd be like watching Craig Lowndes at Bathurst race the full 1,000 kilometers with the brakes on. He'll still get there because he's Craig fucking Lowndes, but it'll be nighttime.
Right.
Bro, it's not a bad announcement. I need to be clear. This is a good thing.
It's just confusing that it wasn't a blog post.
That's what I'm saying. It had to be in this direct because it would have been a weird fucking thing to put in next week's direct. Basically, the idea is that you can. It's just weird to say.
It's video easy.
Digital game on your console.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's video. It's a digital video easy.
Yeah. So you download a game off the eShop, and then let's say I want to lend it to Kyle. As long as our switches are within Wi-Fi range, I can virtually loan it to Kyle. I cannot play it while he's got it, and he can give it back to me at some point. But after 14 days, it'll be forced back to my console.
Yes, but we also need to be on a family plan for that to work as well.
Do you?
Yep.
Oh, fuck.
You need, so for the lending of the game, you need to be on a Nintendo Switch family plan. The main thing for this, and I just don't know why, so weird. Their main draw before they got to the Nintendo, I think that the trading thing on the family plan legitimizes and makes this thing worth it. Because before, it was, hey, have you got 2 Switches and you want to play this game on your other Switch? Well, you can send this game to your other Switch for you to play. It's like, why don't I just download it on both? And then I can just play it whenever I want to play it.
You just signed in.
Yeah.
This is a pain in the ass if you're a dual Switch owner, but I imagine this wasn't built with you in mind.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
I feel like it was built with the family plan thing in mind. It's just weird that they didn't come straight out of the gate with that. They talked about, hey, if you've got 2 Switches, you can.
I understand now. So you can. Right. Initially, they were talking about Switch to Switch because you own both.
Yes.
And then the extension of that is also the people on your family plan.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's, if you're in a household with kids, what I see here, right, is currently if I had, say, 2 children and they both own Switches.
Yep.
And we brought a copy of fucking Zelda, and they weren't both going to play it at the same time, so I'm happy just to have one copy. They can just switch between the Switches. The eShop was not an option. I'd be better off just buying the physical cartridge.
Yes.
Now the eStore is an option because I can have Child 1 download it, and Child 2 can borrow it from time to time.
Yes.
It's just like this feels like the shittiest solution they could come up with that would not mean that people buy significantly less games off the eShop. Like, this will actually result in Nintendo selling more games through the eShop than they were before.
Which is probably why they killed the gold coins.
Yeah, that's a good point. But it feels like these sorts of incentives often mean that you would buy less copies of the game. Like, as in, this will stop me from having to buy 2 copies of Zelda. Mm-hmm. But I think what I would do is just buy 1 from the shop. So I'm bringing it back to the e-store. They make more profit margin. Rah, rah, rah. It's just so much shittier than just like, I don't know, you can automatically play everyone's games that are in your family accounts, or which again, they probably wouldn't like. There's no incentive for them to do that because they'll lose a ton of money. But it's just like, that's what I'm saying about the Craig's Lounge with these breaks on. It just feels like, hey, here's a thing you want half cooked, because if it's any more cooked, we'll lose a bunch of money. Sorry, peace out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's not a bad thing. It's just
so weird.
Like the lamest way they could do it. But to be fair, it is an additional feature, and it's not taking anything away unless it was the reason the coins were killed, in which case, well, shit.
That's shit. If this is the reason they killed the coins, that's shit. Because you're right, people are going to buy more digital, and the last thing they want is people earning coins that allow them to get digital games for free.
Yeah, because like at the moment, like I don't have many digital games on my Switch, but like, yeah, until today, I wouldn't have known how I could possibly get them to a second Switch. Like if a kid had a Switch or whatever. Whereas now there's a solution, so it's like it's a net positive. It's just
like a shitty way we got to a positive.
Yeah, like it's not limited by technology; it's limited by what they're willing to do.
Yes,
but hey, it is a net positive.
Yeah. Then we got a trailer for High on Life. Well, we got like a sizzle reel, and it had High on Life in there. That is coming May 6th to this Nintendo Switch. Star Overdrive, that's an upcoming action adventure game. That is coming April 10. The Wandering Village, it is a city building simulator game.
I really want to play that game.
It looked great. It looked really interesting. Really, really interesting. After a catastrophic event releases toxic spores across the land, the survivors establish a settlement on the back of a colossal creature named an Onbu. The symbiotic relationship is crucial for survival, as players must manage their village's needs while ensuring the well-being of the Onbu.
It feels like I don't know, like in The Walking Dead or whatever, when it's like you've got to pay your taxes, like your colony. The only reason Negan isn't fucking your colony up is because you're paying your weekly taxes. It's almost like you've got to pay the tax to the beast that you're on, but it's like also keeping you alive, so it's kind of fair. I don't know.
It reminds me. I'll explain to you off stream because I don't want to spoil it for people because I feel like people should play it. But I know you'll never play it, so I'll spoil it for you off stream. It like instantly, it kind of reminded me of Xenoblade Chronicles. If you know, you know.
I did not know.
Jack's gonna know. I'll tell it. Then we got to look at Fantasy Life 1: The Girl Who Steals Time. It is a sequel to the 2012 3DS title Fantasy Life. This installment will introduce new gameplay mechanics, including time travel, which allows players to influence the past to rebuild a ruined island. And it looks really cool. I like the art style a lot. Developed by Level 5. They do some cool games. Then we got to look at Saga Frontier 2 Remastered. It's an enhanced version of the classic game. It was originally released in 1999 for the PlayStation. This remastered edition introduces updated visuals, additional story content, and quality of life improvements while preserving the original's unique art style and non-linear gameplay. Then we got the announcement of Monument Valley 1 and 2 coming together as a collection, as well as Monument Valley 3 releasing on a later date. Then we got Jack's favorite game of the show, Everybody's Golf Hot Shots, an upcoming new entry in the renowned golf video game series. The game is set to come out this year for everything. You want to talk about Everybody's Golf?
Not everything, but no, I don't know. Looks cool.
I want you to know that you were brought up at this point in the reaction.
Oh, really?
And I was legit. I was like, oh, bro. Oh, man, if Jack was here, he would fucking love this. Like, he'd be losing his mind right now. And then I shit you not, Jake, a couple of minutes later goes, oh my God, Jack's just messaged about the golf game. I was like, I knew it. I told you. I was so excited. I'm like, I knew it. Oh,
I think I was like a minute behind on the stream or something. But I don't know. Everybody's Golf is just
it's a good time.
A really friendly golf game. Like, as in, I love the PGA Tour games or whatever they're called these days. Like they're great, but I couldn't convince you and the boys to like jump in and play that. You know what I mean? Like it's too serious.
Oh, we'd play.
And yeah, but like it's a lot of money to like you know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah, that's fair. Well, one of the things I said was we were watching it. I'm like, why isn't Mario here? What's going on? Where's Mario Golf?
Like Mario Golf's way too arcadey. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
in a sweet middle spot where it's like it replicates the PGA Golf games. It looks like Mario Golf, and it's just like that friendly, nice shot.
Do you want to know how I know that you could get us to play? Is at the same, basically the same time. I'm giving away the game here. He's gonna be so mad at me. But during the reaction, you hear him but see me. There, when the chick in the crop top with the blonde hair and the unbuttoned blouse appears on screen, we both at the same time go, ooh. Like, we both start gooning over this virtual woman at the same time. I was like, oh. And then he's like, ooh. Like, we both like, so.
Fucking hell. Whatever it takes, you guys.
Hey, we'll play, man. We're there for it.
I like to find out if it's crossplay so we get it on the same place. But I loved. Oh, dude, I played so much Everybody's Golf on the PSP.
Oh, dude, I did as well. That one was sick. I loved that one.
Yeah.
That one was so good. And they also had one on the Vita, which I played a lot as well. Like,
I played. There was a launch title, if I remember correctly.
yeah, it was so good, so
that
good.
was great. The PSP one I think came at a good time in life. Like everyone had PSPs. We'd play on the local network. Play ad hoc.
Ad hoc, yep.
Something like that. But yeah, the Vita one was good. And then I don't know if I've ever brought it on a TV console. I played it on a TV console at mate's house, but I don't know if I've ever brought it. It's just been a portable golf game for me.
Yeah. This is perfect for the Switch. Yeah, perfect for the Switch.
Yeah.
Because I played the PS. So here's the thing, and I think the portability, like the portable thing, like might be the draw. Because I've bought and played the one on PS4, and I don't remember giving it more than a couple of sessions. That's the thing. Like I remember.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's the same game that's on the Vita. Like I'm pretty sure it's cross-buy and everything. Like there's nothing special about it. It probably just looks better.
Yeah, I enjoyed it way more on the Vita, and I don't know why. Maybe it's just like I'm a Vita fanboy. Maybe that's what it is. But yeah.
Yeah, but I think we need to buy this. Actually, executive call. We're buying it.
We're buying it. You know, you don't ask for much, mate. So if you're like, let's buy Everybody's Golf, I'm there. You know me. I'll be there for you. My second favorite announcement of the show, Metroid being the first. Pokemon doesn't count because we've already seen all that stuff. But yeah, second favorite announcement of the show is Marvel Cosmic Invasion. It's an upcoming 2D action beat 'em up developed by Tribute Games and published by Dotemu, I think is how it's pronounced. It's scheduled to release late 2025 and the game will be available everywhere. But my goodness, did this look good. This looked great. I got very excited when it came up on screen. I actually can't remember what I said, but Jake laughed at me a lot. Because I got very, very excited. I got very giddy about this game, and it looked great, and I actually can't wait to play it.
It's so cool as well that like Marvel make such a spectrum of games these days. Like,
so cool.
It's room for everything. I love it.
And what a weird lineup of characters as well. So you got like Captain America, Venom, Storm, Nova, Captain Marvel, Wolverine, and Spider-Man. Like, and the bad guy is Dormammu. Like, what a weird game that I like with a weird mix up that I just can't wait to jump into and try them all. Like, I think it's going to be really good. Honestly, so keen. Then the final announcement that they said was the final announcement. And when it was announced, we were kind of like, oh, okay, well, I'll run you through our train of thought. So Tomodachi Life, living the dream. Okay. This is crazy. So this is the third installment in the Tomodachi series. The first one came in 2013, and Tomodachi Life, the sequel came in 2014. So long time between dances for this game. People very excited about it. I seen on Twitter. I'm sorry I wasn't one of them, because when it started, we were like, "What could this be?" And then we seen the little person fart. And then Jake was like, Animal Crossing? I'm like, I think it's Animal Crossing. And then it wasn't Animal Crossing. And we were like, they look like Miis. And then they weren't Miis. And then there was a giant one of them at the end that said, do you want to converse with me? And then Jake's like, what is going on? I'm like, I don't know. And then we got really excited because they said, hey, we got one more thing to show. And we're like, yes, we're going to get something cool. And then Miyamoto came out and he announced Nintendo Today, a free mobile app for iOS and Android designed to deliver daily updates tailored to your interests. The app offers a variety of features, including an animated calendar, which is actually sick. Daily updates, news put out there every day, a lot of upcoming information about the Switch 2, and an event schedule. So you can access a schedule of Nintendo Direct presentations, game releases, and in-game events to stay informed on the latest happenings, which I like a lot. That's good for me. Because if I get a ping on my phone saying, hey, just, Xenoblade's coming in 2 days, I'm like, oh, shit, yeah. You do need a Nintendo account to use it, and that's fine. I've been using this app today. It's pretty good. It's not bad. Like, it's Nintendo. They're not going to give you anything crap. But this didn't feel like a Nintendo Direct announcement. But also in my mind, like, it kind of does with Alamo and all that sort of stuff. Like, this feels like this sort of... It's in their wheelhouse now.
It's a phone at this point. An experience.
Bro! Literally what I said last night to Jake. I said, how long before we get the Nintendo phone? Like, how long? Like, how far away are we? And he's just like, yeah. Like, it's got to happen. It's got to. It's got to.
I'd be... Probably, problem is it'll be more expensive than the Switch. I'll probably play less than the Switch. I don't know if the market would be ready for it, but it would sell, though, I guess.
It would.
Anyway, doesn't matter.
Look,
we'd have Nintendo Today pre-installed in calendar app. How good's that?
Yeah, I mean, here, I'm just throwing it out there. Like, it is a pretty good... it's a pretty good app. I'm not going to lie. It was great. It was fine. Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah. it's
so,
not bad.
if the app was to be compared to garlic bread or garlic bread and cheese, where would it land? Because I'm not seeing any cheese from here, mate. I'm so hostile towards this fucking...
Yeah, you are. Look, I would take the app over garlic bread. But, again, garlic bread and cheese, it depends on the kind of cheese.
Problem is these days, you pay about $6 for the cheese. That's
which is disgusting. We're not going to go on a tangent about garlic bread prices,
right.
but
Brakes are on.
I agree. Like, it's disgusting, bro. It's disgusting. Like, oh yeah, $1 for garlic bread. Oh, can I have some cheese on it? Yeah, $24.
And whipped out like that Makita grill.
You just grate your own cheese, like, and you eyeball the people in the kitchen as you do it. Oh god, that's great. That's so good.
I'm sure the Nintendo Today app comes with a timer as well. You can set a 2-minute timer.
The cheese is ready. Thank you, Mario.
Alarm clock they released, I guess.
Yeah, dude. Alarmo. Oh, set the alarm. Fuck yeah. Oh, dude. I can't wait to get an Alarmo. I have one waiting for me at eBay. I've got it sitting there, and I gotta get it. But I'm keen. But yeah, that's everything that was announced at the Direct. It was a fine Direct. Probably like good timing. Lots of interesting announcements. Lots of cool stuff. Can't really complain. Nintendo know what they're doing. I'm not gonna argue with them.
I think it was a smart Direct. I think, yeah, like it was a bit of a slog, but you know, I think a smart Direct, honorable Direct. And I'm sure for other people it was super exciting. Lots for them. Just yeah, for me personally, if everybody's golf wasn't there, would have been empty for me personally.
Yeah, fair enough.
But you know, Metroid 4 being there, like, that's pretty big. That's like I think we've probably been a bit harsh on the whole show. Really, like there was some bangers in there.
It's great. It's bloody great. Well, mate. Let's have a quick little conversation about our Nintendo Switch 2 sort of direct predictions, what we think we're going to see, what we would like to see before this thing happens next week. Because we're not going to have another chance to talk about it before our next episode. Because our next episode will probably be an entire breakdown, review, and hype episode about Switch 2. So, mate, I have a list of things that I've written down, but I can literally put this into like categories if you want, and then we can just discuss it and then get your opinion if you want to do it like that.
Yeah, I got a couple of like small ideas, so yeah, maybe go through your list and I'll jump in.
So, first thing we're going to talk about, release date and price. So when do you think this is going to get released, and how much do you think it's going to cost?
I I could see it coming in July. I think the early rumors of July feel right in my mind. June would be great, but I don't know, just feeling July in me loins. Price in Australia, I think it's going to match the Series X. I think it's going to be like $700,
Yeah.
or maybe like 650, or thereabouts. But I think the show will do a fine job of selling that price. I think we'll walk out going, oh, I've got to find $600, but I don't think anyone's going to be walking out of it going, gee, that's not worth $600. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they'll sell it just fine. What are your thoughts on date and price?
Okay, so date, I went pretty hard. Okay, so I have 3 dates.
Oh.
Okay, so I have for July, it'll be the second week of July, no specific date. If it's coming in June, it will drop on the 15th of June. And I think if it comes in May, which is unlikely but possible due to what like the leaks and stuff were happening about a month ago, it'll come on the 22nd of May.
Okay.
That's my feel. Now, when it comes to price, I'm in the same boat as you. I agree with you. I think they're going to announce it. I think it's going to be like $700 range, basically. I think
and I don't think they'll be making much money on each console.
No.
Be as aggressive as they can be.
I think this isn't going to be something announced at the Direct, but I think we're also going to see a price drop on the Switch 1 and the OLED, probably by about like $60. You know what I mean? $60 price drop on the originals. But yeah, that's basically my train of thought. It's going to be a full price console, which makes sense at this point. And yeah, I can see it coming very soon after this Direct. And I think we'll get the date at the Direct. And like, I think it's going to shock a lot of people, but people like us who have been like all up in it and paying attention to rumors and leaks are just going to be like, huh, I was close. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of parents out there are going to be like, what? Like, Jesus. It's like, hey, you got time to pay it off before Christmas now. You know, get grandma onto it. She'll do it. All right, cool. Mate, launch titles. All right. Why are you laughing at me? The grandma thing?
Yeah.
Grandmas need help picking presents. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you're going to end up with a freaking knitted shirt or just money in a card. And money in a card from your grandparents is great, but it also kind of kills you a little bit inside. You know what I mean? Like, you want them to know that they got you something that you wanted because it makes them feel good and it makes you feel good.
This is the forum for it, but you've nailed it.
Fuck yeah. This is the forum for it. We are for gaming. Launch titles, mate. What do you think we're going to see?
I hope the show opens with 5 to 10 minutes. Maybe just 5 minutes, actually. Less is probably best. But just reveals a couple of Switch 1 games.
Yep.
And just shows how good they'll look on the Switch 2. I think that'd be a great way to start.
Yep.
Hey, here's like some fucking game that came out last year, and here it is on Switch 2. Like, oh, that looks crazy. As for launch titles, I think there'll be launch titles, which I feel like needs to be said.
Mm-hmm.
The Mario Kart they showed off, I think that's got to be a launch title. I think like Mario Kart sells, people love it.
Yeah.
It'll last the whole generation. So I think Mario Kart feels right. Does feel kind of like the Switch 1 reveal where like Mario Kart came out as well. Like, it sort of feels like a bit of a redo. So I don't know if it's a cop-out answer, but I think Mario Kart. I think it's Metroid will be up front. I think that'll be like the main Nintendo staple sort of covered in my mind. But I think what's going to be alongside it is I think there's going to be a shit ton of launch titles that are existing titles on other consoles. Like, I could see Siege X being a launch title. I could, like obviously your Rocket League, your Fortnite, like they get updates for the Switch 2. Like, they're already backwards compatible with the Switch 2, but I think they'll get Switch 2 updates real fast. It won't be like these games like PUBG getting an Xbox Series X version 5 years after launch. Like, I think these games will be coming out the gate. I don't think PUBG will be one of them. But yeah, I think the big thing I think Nintendo will want to show off is live service games that have never existed on the Nintendo platform. So I think, Fortnite get an update, great. But Siege coming to the platform, that's crazy, Sea of Thieves, like things like that. I think
Sea of Thieves is going to be there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think these games that have been out for a while that have never touched the Nintendo platform, I think that's going to fill out the launch lineup. So we go from having like 6 great launch games and 4 bangers, 6 good games overall or whatever, to like plus there's like 30 other games coming, and between updates and fresh releases, I don't know, like, is this the time to quickly smash out Red Dead 2 on Switch 2? You know what I mean? Like, is there things like that that might come out of left field that, like, they're maybe not launch lineup games, but
Yeah.
like, if they're fresh in Nintendo, I think they'll fucking make a headline or two. You know what I mean? So that's where my mind's at. What are you feeling? You're probably a bit more on the know than I am.
I mean,
That giggle says yes.
no, not necessarily. So I agree with you. I think we're going to see some titles from the Switch One that are sort of like going to show off. Like they're going to be more like enhanced. And they're going to look better, and they're going to do different things. I think one of those titles is one that was like rumored to actually be shown last night. I think one of the first things we're going to see is the Smash Bros. Ultimate Deluxe, the game that has every fighter in it, on the cart, all the DLC in one thing. We got that with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe the first time. I think Smash Bros is the game they're going to use this time, which means it gives us more time to wait for a new Smash Bros, which I think they are working on. So yeah, I think Smash Bros
will be like enhanced, like as in better resolution.
I think so. I think so. I think they're going to have one feature that isn't in Smash Bros Ultimate that is going to show off that this console is the only place you could have played this version of the game.
Yeah, okay.
I don't necessarily know what that is, but I think there's going to be something there that they're going to be like, this is why, we're releasing it here. I think that's probably going to be a big one. I do think we're going to see some third-party stuff. I think we might finally see the rumored Master Chief Collection. We might see some of this rumored stuff come to the console. There's plenty of rumors out there. I think we'll see some of it. I think one of the big games they're probably going to show off is Elden Ring. I think Elden Ring is going to be a big one. I think like everybody wants Elden Ring on everything, so like I think I think Elden Ring could possibly be the Skyrim. Do you remember like Switch One? Like the big thing was Skyrim. They had Skyrim there. They were playing Skyrim on the plane.
I think that's the thing. I think there's going to be games that are like portable for the first time. I think that's going to be a big deal.
Yeah. I think Elden Ring. Tekken 8, we're going to see Tekken 8 on this. I think that's going to be another big one, and I think that's also going to show that like they're committed to like multiplayer stuff as well. Like a fighting game, online fighting game is like tumultuous. People are like you either win or you lose when it comes to a fighting game online. So if Tekken 8 can run well and has good online, I think it's going to be great. And I think one of the big titles is going to be Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, because that game looks amazing, and if it runs and looks just as good on the Switch too, like honestly, that's just going to blow people's minds. I think the big title will probably be Mario Kart 9. Like the big Switch 2 title will be MK9. Here it is. Here's all the characters and all that sort of stuff. I think it's going to be their Breath of the Wild this time around. It's going to be MK9. I think we're going to see a 1-2 Switch style game, which is going to showcase the new hardware and gimmicks, including it could be that mouse mode, where they'll have some sort of games that'll show off the mouse, how it works, maybe the haptics and all that sort of stuff inside. I think we'll get another game like that. I think we will see Metroid Prime 4 launch with the console. It'll be the game that is on both, the good cross-gen, what Breath of the Wild was for Wii U and Switch. Metroid Prime 4 will be for Switch 1 and Switch 2. And then I think, just the major third-party stuff. I think we're just going to see a bunch of that. And I think, because I think Nintendo are going to have a lot of bangers towards the end of the year, which brings us to the next one. Stuff coming before the end of the year. Stuff coming soon. Like, what do you see them teasing or announcing that isn't coming at launch, but may be coming either before the end of the year or into next year?
Yeah, I think the big thing, like Nintendo will have games, of course, but I think the third parties will start filling in the year. Like, it'll be all the massive games from the last gen, whether it's like Far Cry 5 or Assassin's Creed that was missed, or sort of like blanking out, but you get the idea, right?
Yeah.
Those games, like, oh, we're bringing back the Division 2, or that's all just Ubisoft I've really mentioned. But like, Microsoft's committed to Call of Duty. Like, do we see Black Ops land on this console to give them a chance to learn it a bit more, ready for the next one? Like, I'm not really sure, but
I think that's possible.
Yeah, like I get excited by the idea of the Master Chief Collection and things like that, but I don't know. I think it's just going to be like all the bangers from last gen will get a great fresh run, and like I think the first year we won't see that thing where it's like, oh, we need more money for this game, let's release it somewhere else. Like, I think for starters it'll just be like the good shit, and I'm excited about that. As for Nintendo, yeah, I think they'll have a banger to end out the year, but I wouldn't have any fucking clue what it is. Like maybe Odyssey 2 or something. I'm not sure.
I think you're on the right track there. I think Odyssey 2 probably will end up being their massive
Odyssey
game.
2, yeah, it's gonna be a big game. It'd be hard to follow up the first one. I feel.
Yeah. I think
King was a bit of magic in the bottle. I feel.
it was. I feel like if they can utilize the quote unquote gimmicks of the system to sort of like give us that sort of
Depth to the puzzles.
it'll be something special. But yeah, I've got stuff like Pokemon that's going to be coming before the end of the year. Very excited for that.
Yeah.
I think it might be too soon, but maybe not to start talking about the next Splatoon. I feel like we're going to get another Splatoon. Splatoon has become one of those things where it's like, like it gets announced and everyone gets excited, but it's got a dedicated fan base. Like
always one Splatoon away from it being the biggest game on planet Earth.
Yeah, and honestly, yes, which is crazy. I think we're probably going to get some Zelda remakes. I don't know exactly whether we're going to get like Ocarina first, or if we're actually going to get like Twilight Princess or something like that. People have been wanting that for a while. I think that'd be pretty sick. So yeah, I think. Personally, we're probably going to see Odyssey 2 this year. And I think it's going to come in September. Because September marks Mario's 40th anniversary.
Oh, they've got to release something.
So I think Odyssey is going to come in September.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be pretty big. And I think the way it's going to get us is, you remember when we spitballed games, like we were like coming up with pitches and stuff, like picture this. You remember that?
Yep.
I think they could do the thing that I pitched about Mario sort of celebrating all the different Marios we've seen before with this game, with Odyssey 2. Whereas
Each world is like a era of
Mario. Whereas Odyssey was about going to different worlds. I think Odyssey 2 could be the exploration of different eras of Mario.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Like when you go to these worlds, you
fresh.
play that sort of version. Like you go to a side-scrolling version of Mario, you play as the 2D Mario. But then you could like pop out of that 2D world and do some 3D stuff, but then to end it, you pop back in. I think that could be huge for the 40th anniversary.
You know what the new Donk City equivalent will be?
What?
It'll be the Mario movie.
Oh, dude, that would be so cool. That would be great. And they just don't have Chris Pratt in it. That would be so good. Oh, man, that would be awesome. That would be sick. Yeah, I think that would be cool, but like that's me dreaming way too big.
Oh, we can all dream. I mean, the other night I'm like, StarCraft 2 on Switch would be alright.
Oh, I'd fuck with that.
We can all dream, my friend.
Oh, I'd fuck with that so much.
What if this is like a chance to re-release Battlefield 4 or something? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, dude.
You know,
the possibilities right now are endless. Endless, my friend.
Be reined in next week.
That's it. Yeah, they'll bring us back. So next, I want to talk about the UI and features. What do you think we'll see? What do you think will be different? What do you think they're just gonna flop? Like, what do you think? What do you want?
I don't think it's gonna be like that revolutionary. Like the Switch UI is like fine, it's just slow. You know what I mean? Like just assuming the Switch 2 has faster storage and a bit more RAM, like just speed that shit up, make it a bit snappier. I don't know. I don't think they'll linger too much on it. I think they'll spend a couple of minutes, especially anything that's new. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit more of an app store thing in it, like as in, like the YouTube app is like the only entertainment app on the Switch 1, and I get why they don't have many on the Switch 1, but I wouldn't be surprised if like Spotify and shit like that sort of work on the Switch 2. And you know what I would really like them to highlight? I can't remember how it works on the Switch 1, how you're meant to use your mobile phone to talk to other people or whatever bullshit that is, but like highlight some of those sorts of improvements. Like I don't really give a fuck about how the settings app works, but just highlight functionality that's improved and a bit more. Like I think they'll highlight the things that are a bit more 2020s and less 2000s, because it felt like some of the features on the Switch were like even shitter than the 360. So I think you just need to highlight the things that are modern, highlight that you don't need a mobile phone to operate this thing, and just if there's extra system resources, which it's hard on a portable device. Like, do you really want to dedicate resources to Spotify running? I don't know. maybe it doesn't run in the background. I'm not sure, but I think it'll run slightly more open in that sense. Like I think, like I it kind of has to, because like the portables that are coming out, Xbox, PlayStation, everyone's rumored to be making a fucking portable. Like all the Windows portables, like you can run Spotify in the background of all those. You know, or I don't know about the PlayStation portable, but the rest of them you can. So, like, I feel like some of these features, you know, they want to highlight that they're ready to combat the onslaught. Now, they don't have to combat it. They got Mario. No one else has Mario. Like, I think they'll be fine. They're not going to get overrun by every other portable device. But can't hurt to, you know, you like, there's people out there that want to buy a portable to play games that aren't on Nintendo platforms because they're PC only or whatever it is. And I just feel like you should highlight some of the features that are also available on the Switch in that sense. So, I don't know. That's where my mind's at. I don't really care a whole lot. I think it'll be fine. But I think that's what you do. You just highlight the things that are modern. Do you have any thoughts?
I do, mate. I'm just gonna power through the UI and features that I want as well, like, and then we can talk about like hardware and the specs. But like, this is gonna be crazy. People are gonna hate me for this shit. Okay, I think they're going to improve the menu layout. I think the home screen is going to look a lot more cleaner. I think it's going to be more akin to what we see from PlayStation and Xbox. I think we're going to have improved video streaming support on this thing. I think Twitch, Netflix, Prime Video, all that, Disney Plus, I think they're going to see a real big push for this system. I think we should get game-specific backgrounds. So kind of like how on when you're on like PlayStation or Xbox, when you hover over a game, it like creates a background that shows you like all the information about the game, you know, and you know, you get a big picture. I think they should implement that. I think it would like just sort of like give it a bit more character. Themes. I would love themes because I think Nintendo's menus are just so plain. Whereas like you can either do the game specific backgrounds thing I just spoken about, or just give us the opportunity to have themes like we had back on the DS and the 3DS. Like that stuff was sick.
I think the faster storage will allow a lot of this to happen, whereas on the Switch One, I just don't think it was possible.
Yeah, I think we're going to see. I think they might talk about this a bit because I think we need it. A revamp to the eShop. I think it needs to be faster. I think it needs to be designed better, and I think I would really like it if I could bobble onto some music while I'm shopping. Like, I think if you just had, like, you've got Nintendo Music for streaming, just chuck some music in the store, bring the music back. And, yeah, just overall a redesign, make it a lot cleaner, make it easier to navigate, make it faster, because it's so slow right now. I would love for it to be just a little bit quicker, and then make the wish list a little bit easier to navigate as well. I think they're going to add some sort of messaging system. So, you know, you got PSN and you can like message over PSN and you can do that. I think Nintendo's going to have one built in for the console, which you can also use on your mobile. I think it's going to be, sort of how it is with like Xbox chat and stuff like that. You'll be able to like talk to your friends and stuff and play multiplayer games in that way because they're going to make that big push this time around, I feel.
Do you reckon they'll integrate with Discord?
I don't think straight away.
Yeah.
I can see that being in a couple of years.
On the portable console, though, you don't consider this shit straight up.
Honestly.
I would actually love if they just didn't implement a messaging service and just did Discord. Like, as in, like, we're just removing. But that's Nintendo would want to control that probably. So, anyway, carry on.
These are two wishes that I know aren't going to come true, but would love to see happen during the life cycle of the Switch 2. Bring back Virtual Console. Just do it. And achievements, trophies, something. You know what I mean? Something to keep you playing on a Nintendo console, bro. No.
Is there no equivalent?
No equivalent on the Nintendo platform.
Oh, man.
They need it. They need it.
They would do well.
That would do so well. It'd pop off. It would pop the hell off. But yeah, I think that would be super, super cool. Now, hardware and specs, mate. Do you have any thoughts on the hardware? Do you have any thoughts on the specs? What do you want to see? What do you think we'll see?
I reckon there will be a maximum of 2 sentences dedicated to the hardware specs.
Yeah. This is more what we predict it's going to be. You know what I mean? Like, what do we see it being in the blog post?
I don't think it's going to be crazy. You know, I think it's going to be modest, a good improvement. I think it's just going to be well optimized. Like, I think the raw specs of it will be like, you know, if you were to compare it to a ROG Ally, you'd be like, holy shit, what are they doing? But when you look at the games running on it compared to the ROG Ally, you're like, oh, they're about the same. I think it's just going to come down to good optimization. You know, for the price point, they've got to get a good battery in there. They've got to have a decent screen with a decent brightness, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, speakers, you know, all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Rumored to have the holo effect joysticks, I think, wasn't it? Or the good joysticks, can't remember. But like, you know, it's got 2 USB ports. Like these things cost. So I think when it comes to the specs, I think it's going to be a well optimized machine, but probably from a couple of years ago. So I don't think they'll want to highlight the specs because I feel like on paper they'll just be like, oh yeah, they're all right. But I think it'll play. I just want it to be snappy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like faster storage, similar to what's in like the new flagship phones and stuff. Like an M2 drive basically, and similar to the Steam Deck and all that. I think, yeah, like I don't think it has to be the most powerful console on planet Earth, but I think it has to be really synergized. And I think that's what Nintendo will fucking nail. I think that's what they'll nail. So I don't know. I'm probably not going to sit here and talk about like core counts and RAMs and things like that, but I hope that the resources they have put in there, like I would love for the games to have access to, let's say they have 12 gig of RAM, but the system has a couple as well, just so it's snappier and the menus, like the going back to the guide is quick. And hell, maybe the eShop doesn't have to be an app; it can just be in the dashboard. Wouldn't that be incredible?
That'd be amazing.
So yeah, I'm looking for that good synergy of specs. I'm not necessarily looking for the best specs on planet Earth, just a really good synergy and that snappiness. But I don't think they're going to talk about it next week at all. Like maybe they'll mention a sentence that the screen's full HD or something. Like if it's a good improvement over the base model, I don't want a 4K screen in this thing, but 1080p. Like if they can achieve that, like I think that's worth noting. You know,
I feel like we're predicting the blurb because these pre-orders are rumored to go up right after the direct. I think what we're doing here is predicting the blurb that's going to be on the page when you go to pre-order.
Yeah, exactly. With the 2 sentences, like
yeah,
the console for
legit, yeah. Very modest predictions here. It's not predictions. It's kind of like a wish list of what I'd like to see. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to predict this shit. I'd love to see 1080p in handheld, 4K upscaling when it's docked, built-in microphones. I'd love to see a built-in microphone on the main unit as well as the Joy-Cons. Instant Bluetooth access. I don't want to wait for updates that come fucking years later anymore. I want it to be as strong as like maybe a PS4, PS4 Pro, Xbox Series S. I want improved internal storage. Okay, I want 256 gigabytes on this thing. I want a proper. I don't want to have to buy a little shitty SD card 5 minutes after getting the console. You know what I mean? I want
totally
good storage.
Fast, yeah, decent amount of it.
I want.
Doesn't have to be terabyte.
Yeah.
Would be nice.
That would be next level. That would be like if you're ever going to drop a Switch Pro, it needs to have that sort of like.
I would accept 128 gig if it had a second slot for your storage.
Ooh.
Like as in, we'll do price point, and you can put a couple of games on it. But if you want to slap a terabyte in, that's on you.
I would accept that. I think that's a happy medium. I think if they're not going to give us that option, 256 gig is like feels like a minimum for this thing. Like there's going to be a lot of games to play day one, and a lot of these games, Elden Ring, Halo.
You're not going to want to be running on a micro SD card.
That exactly. Like you're going to need the storage. Yeah. I would like to see 7 to 10 hours of battery life. Fingers crossed. I'd love to see that. Probably won't, but that'd be awesome. And I think like a lot of people are like, oh, OLED. I don't think it's going to be OLED. I think it's going to be a really good LCD screen. And I think we're going to see a couple of new buttons on the actual thing itself. I think we're going to see a button that will instantly open up to our chat because there is a rumored C button on the Joy-Con. We've seen the Joy-Con. There's an additional button there. I think it's going to be a button that opens up to the new communications app, or it's going to open up a party chat between you and your friends. I think that's going to be the big new button. And yeah, we've got the two back buttons. I think they're going to have something to do on the menu. I'm not 100% sure what it is yet, but I think they're going to have some sort of function other than in-game. I think there's going to be some sort of menu function.
I love that there's extra buttons. That really gets me excited. The one hardware feature I was really hoping would be VRR, which is a variable refresh rate. But I've only like halfway through the video, but I watched a Digital Foundry video where a comment was made that was like, so you develop for the Switch that has a VRR display, you know it's in there, you know you can take advantage of it, and then someone docks it into a TV without a VRR display. Fuck. I was like, oh, that's really complicated. That's really hard actually to work with. So I don't actually think that'll be a feature, but that was one thing I was selfishly hoping for.
Yeah.
Because VR displays are just the fucking best.
I think we've made pretty good predictions, I think they're pretty modest, they're pretty good, they're pretty achievable, I think, in my eyes. I don't think we've gone balls to the walls. I think we've been very mature.
Yeah, a couple of things just functionality wise. Like I think, or not, that's probably not the right words, but it'll make sense in a moment. I just hope they really highlight that Switch 1 to Switch 2 features. So like, say for example, if a company upgrades a game on Switch 1 to run on the Switch 2, is it a free update? Like, is that going to be the norm? Like, is Red Dead Redemption on Switch going to get a code of paint for Switch 2 and I'm not going to have to pay for it, you know? And another thing as well, one piece of information I would love to find out next week is if I play a Switch 1 game in Switch 2, is the battery life just suddenly fucking magical because it runs on such a lower spec?
Good
like
call.
If I chuck Mario Kart 8 in, will I get 14 hours of battery life on my flight to Japan?
Yeah.
As opposed to, you know what I mean? Like, whereas Mario Kart 9 is a 4-hour thing. You know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'd love to see just like, because the Switch 1 catalog's so big and there's so many games. Like, even just think like I got the Crash Bandicoot trilogy on Switch. Yeah, that's a timeless game now that it's been remade and modernized. Like, is that like get a run on the Switch 2 faster, or is it just going to be better battery life? Like, what's the advantage of bringing that cartridge with me? Not a big deal, not a deal breaker. If they don't even talk about it, I'll still buy a Switch 2. But that's just something I'd be keen to hear about.
Oh, fair call. Fair call. Well, we don't have long to wait. It's literally happening next week. So next week's episode is going to be all about Switch 2 reveals, what we got right, what we got wrong, what did we get a pre-order? It's going to be crazy. It's going to be good times. I'm very excited about it. But until then, Jack, thank you very much for joining me, mate.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, man, anytime. We'll come back and we'll do it next week. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. To keep up to date with everything 1UP is up to, please head over to oneupgames.com. We have articles going up daily, as well as links to all our socials where you can find us, where you can talk to us, and all that fun stuff. If you are watching on the YouTube, please subscribe and like the video. It really does help out, and it's a great way to also keep up to date with everything we're doing as well. But that is going to do it from us. Until next time, may all of your games be good ones, and we will catch you guys very excitedly next week for all Switch 2 talk. So, have a good one. Bye, everybody.